In this video, I'm going to show you how to create an expense report. Expense reports for employee reimbursements should be turned in a timely manner and must be submitted in the same fiscal year in which expense or travel occurred. If you travel or personally incur expenses on behalf of the college on a regular basis, it is recommended that you submit expense reports monthly. If you travel to a conference, it is highly recommended that you submit an expense report as soon as possible after your trip. In an earlier video, I walked you through how to submit an out-of-state pre-approval report. So let's say we submitted that, it got approved, I went to my conference, I came back, and now I'm looking to get reimbursed for those items. So in this training, I'll show you how to do that. If you're looking for like a mileage reimbursement, I do have a video on that as well, so be sure to find that and follow along for a mileage reimbursement. So once you're on your dashboard, just go ahead and click this plus create button on the expense header here. Okay, so on this expense header here, you're going to see import pre-approval, but we're actually not going to do it on the front end here. So just ignore that button and we'll continue to plug in these fields. Okay, so we're going to give our report a name. So just go ahead and put in the conference you attended and the dates in here. For the purpose of this training, I'm going to be matching this with a pre-approval for a test conference I set up. So in this, I'm just going to put test conference 2/17/2025 to 2/21/2025. That way it matches up with my pre-approval. For business purpose, I'm just going to put attended annual test conference. Use the drop-down to select expense report. Then you're going to find your home campus from the drop-down. Mine is Ankeny. And after you do that, you'll type in your current home mailing address. So once you're all done doing that, then you'll notice your DMAC ID is already filled in for you, so you don't have to type it in. This drop-down, is this report travel related? Go ahead and click yes. And it's going to ask you, is it in-state or out-of-state? And you can use the drop-down to select out-of-state. And then go ahead and hit save in the top right corner here. And go ahead and click create new. You may also just have the tiles appear if you don't have any transactions that are currently on your account. But I'm going to click create new. And here's where you'll see all of our tiles. So here is where we can add our reimbursement request items to our report. If you do need to reference your out-of-state pre-approval, you can do so on the dashboard by clicking View All Submitted under the Out-of-State Pre-Approvals header. So for the purpose of this training, in my pre-approval I said that I would like to be reimbursed for airfare, hotel, and my meals, so let's just plug that all in. Alright, first we're going to plug in our airline ticket, so we're going to go to the air travel tile and we're going to use the drop-down to select airfare. Okay, you're going to go ahead and select your date of expense, so when you bought your airfare ticket, enter in the amount you spent on it. In the business purpose, I'm just going to enter flight to and from test conference. I'm going to use the airline drop-down to select the airline. Use the class drop-down to select the class. Please note, DMAC will only reimburse at the economy coach rate. I'm going to enter my index, attach my receipt showing my total, and then I'm going to hit save. Alright, next we're going to submit our hotel expense for reimbursement, so we're going to click on the hotel tile. Enter in your date of expense, so when you booked the hotel, the amount spent. In the business purpose, I'm just going to put in hotel during test conference. Using the drop down here on the travel type, I'm going to select out of state and enter in my index. I'm going to attach my receipt. And then I'm going to hit save. Alright, so now I'm going to include all of the meals I had while at my test conference. So to do that, we're going to use the per diem wizard. So clicking this food meals drop down here, we are going to click meals per diem wizard. Start by entering the date that you left for your conference. and the time you left your home. And then go ahead and enter when you returned and what time you returned home. As you can see here, it pre-fills in the days for you. And then using your description, you can just type in meals for test conference in Nashville. Alright, so in location, just go ahead and start typing in your city. I'm going to type in Nashville, and as you can see, I do have plenty of options. I'm going to scroll down until I see the one in Tennessee, and I'm going to go ahead and click that. Using the drop down, I'm going to select the per diem account, so I'm going to go ahead and select out of state. Next, I'm going to use the Is Travel for a Conference or Meeting drop down to select yes. Then go ahead and type in your index. And when you're finished with all of that, click Add to Preview. The right side of your screen does change. The first and last day here are different amounts, and that's because the system works with the time to give you certain meals and restrict you from certain meals based on what time you leave and come home. And then the middle dates here, I do get full amounts, but if my conference or meeting is providing me with breakfast or lunch, I will be clicking these deductible boxes to say, no, I got breakfast and I got lunch on these days, and that will adjust your total accordingly. So once everything looks the way you think it should, go ahead and click Apply in the bottom right corner. And now what you'll notice is that each of these meals per diems have a kind of like a warning on them, and that's just saying it needs us to attach the agenda. So one thing I noticed is that you have to attach the agenda for each of these. You can't just attach it once and it just like applies to the per diems. So click on one of these meals per diem items, scroll to the very bottom, click Add Attachments, and this is where you can just add your agenda. So that one took care of the first one. It gave me a green check, so let's click this next one. Scroll to the bottom. Don't even bother putting a response in to be posted, because that's not going to make those checks go away. So let's click the third one, scroll to the bottom, upload. Almost done doing this. Once we're done doing that, you'll see all green check marks on the left-hand side, but if for some reason you're not seeing the submit button, maybe try clicking on the header here, and then clicking edit, and then just hitting save. And doing that gave me the green submit button. So go ahead and hit submit. Now this is where you're going to want to click this pre-approval button, so go ahead and click that. Okay, using this select a pre-approval report drop-down, go ahead and find your pre-approval report. I am going to select the one that corresponds with the expense report. As you can see here in expense summary, it really compares the two. So it compares how much I said I was going to get for my airfare versus how much I actually spent, how much I put in that I'd be reimbursed for my hotel versus how much I actually spent, and the meals per diem wizard as well. So under the spent USD category, that's the amount. If you look over here to the left panel, that's the amount that I actually am requesting for reimbursement. So you're just going to hit apply. So before you click submit, be sure to read through this. The top portion here is a little bit confusing because it has my pre-approval, but just focus on this amount right here, amount due to the employee. It should match the amount you've got on the bottom left here. So if you need to edit this at all, make sure you cancel out of this and you go back and edit any of your line items. Otherwise, if everything is good, just go ahead and hit submit and it will move on to your approver. I hope you found this video helpful. If there are other reimbursement tiles that you'd like to see, you can feel free to reach out to me and I can walk you through some of those. I know there's baggage reimbursement and taxi services that are common as well, so if you need help with any of those, please reach out to me. Please email me at lapray@dmacc.edu and I will be sure to help you. Thanks.